Today, we will discuss an important issue of industrial relations. How a business problem can be converted into industrial relations problems. Today, I have gone through the news in Times of India, Economic Times, and all national newspapers about Indigo strike. And that is the best case study how the business problem can be converted into industrial relations problems. What was the problem? Indigo is the India's largest airline. It is facing the three C problems. Number one, crude, the availability and cost of the crude. Number two, currency, the cost of Indian rupees in comparison to the dollar. So international market, the cost of rupees has become lower. Number three, competition with other airlines in which Indigo has to manage their business. So these are the three major problems for Indigo. Now that problem has been converted into IR problem, industrial problems. Why? Number one, the airlines has not had any terminations even during the pandemic over the last 1 year. It is further said, adding, despite this, a small section of them in Goa have caused the disruption as work, asking for three things. Number one, immediate increment. Number two, systematic approach of HR policies. While it has been promised to be included in the salary for April 2021. So these are the issues which has been converted. And after Goa, many other places like Varanasi, Delhi, Hyderabad, etc., the Indigo employees are taking mass leave. So now this problem has been converted because of three problems, and Indigo is not doing the sustainable business in the aviation business. So this has become the IR problems. The competition in aviation is increasing every day. So everybody has to understand their business, whether we are doing sustainable or we are doing the business in some other model. Therefore, we have to communicate our issues in time to our all stakeholders. Particularly when we are communicating with the employees, that time we have to be very careful. What happened? The organization or top management is not communicating their business problems to their employees, and they are not asking their support or their participation. That is why the gap between employee and top management has increased in this case. Now this has become the issue of mutual understanding and trust. So we have to think carefully and we have to follow. Now this issue has been converted into industrial problems. Therefore, the Indigo flights delayed as staff went on massive leave. Today, the news has been published. The Indigo's technicians go on strike, go on sick leave in Hyderabad and Delhi over low wages. So this kind of news, which they were not communicating earlier to their employees, now the whole world is aware. So this is the case study where we have to think how to develop the trust among employees, and they should be the, or HR should be the business partner. This is the best case study where we can understand and we can take the corrective and preventive action in our HR policies, framework, strategies, so that we can do our sustainable business. The major issues are which we can do now, or what could be the solution of this problem. I personally want to suggest 4-5 things, which is not easily possible in short span, but this is the case study where HR team can understand and take corrective and preventive actions in their respective business. Number one, they have to develop the mutual trust. Here, the gap between employees and employers seems to be very higher. Second thing, employees' participation in management. When you will take the participation from the employees or workers, they would know what is happening in our business. So they can suggest or they can corrective and preventive actions. They can be the partner of your problems. Now, what happened in most of the organizations, the management is not communicating to their employees. The employees are getting surprised. That this theory of surprise has to eliminate in the current perspective of the business. Third issue could be the open culture. We have to communicate in time. We have to discuss with the employees, and we have to give the feel to the employees so that they can develop their inclusion about the organization. The people are talking about trust, belongingness, and participation in management practices. Until unless we will not improve the inclusion part, how we can involve our employees in our business activities, we cannot do the sustainable business. If you will see the example of top 500 Fortune companies, everywhere you will find that every employer is trying to do this open culture in their activities because of three things. Number one, employee must know what is happening in the business. Number two, employees must be connected their performance or their performance goal setting exercise with the vision and mission and the objectives of the organization. Number three, every employee has to participate to eliminate those issues which can be the threat to the business. So these are the new traits for HR. Now HR has to take lead and they have to provide such kind of solutions to the organizations. Number four, which is very strong, we have to understand if we want to do the sustainable business, the strong HR policies and their implementation. What I am seeing, I have gone through a number of time in various organizations where policies are good, but their implementation is very poor. So my request is, when you are framing or making any policy, you have to take care of the welfare of the employee as well as the sustainability of the business. Whether we can sustain such kind of policies in longer time or not. Number two, whether our employee can take the benefit of these issues or not. What has happened during pandemic, during this case study, they have not terminated even a single employee. That is the greatness of the employer. But they are facing the problems. Now, employee has to support, employee has to understand, and employee has to do something correctively and preventively to develop their business, to control these three problems: crude, competition, and the third one is your So we have to understand and we have to be the partner of the business. This is the responsibility and accountability of HR. Number fifth, which is missing in current perspective, particularly Indian organizations, that is very strong. Now we are not understanding the importance of this issue, but in due course of time, every employer will understand. Strong and stable employee unions. When you are doing the business, you have to give respect to your employees and their unions. And you have to communicate in time. Where the strong unions and stable unions are there, such kind of sudden surprise cannot happen because they know the business problems. They can clearly communicate to the employees and they can provide the support to the business in bad days, as is happening in this case. So these are the 5 solutions. Please try to understand and try to implement in your businesses. We do hope you will find this video in your interest or in the interest of your business. Please do write. Please send this video to their friends so that they can understand the lesson from this case study and they can do something unique for their sustainable growth in their respective area of their activities.